and twice on Sunday. What the hell I look like? What the hell I look like? What the hell I look like, baby? Tell me. Tell me. Tell me. You just can't call a nigga. Even if someone to feel free, baby. You just can't call a nigga. Even if someone to finish true. You just can't think that I'll be right there. I will be there for me to share. What the hell I look like? What the hell I look like? What the hell I look like? Tell me. Tell me. Tell me. Welcome, everybody. This is D. Durrell with D. Durrell, the Rebirth. Appreciate each and every one of you for coming in today. I am going to be operating from multiple channels on this particular live stream. It's going to be very interesting. We're going to talk about two different sectors per se that I'm involved in. One, the pro-Black Umar Johnson sector, which I basically made my name in this space and so on. And then we're going to talk about the Manosphere, which is basically a space that I've also been in simultaneously together as I have grown and developed myself, particularly on YouTube in those particular two sectors. Now, as you all know, my name got in this space, got spread around as far as my reputation and so forth, is because I have effectively out-debated anybody that speaks in regards to whatever they consider the deficiencies of Umar Johnson. Almost to the point in which people have asked me, well, D. Durrell, why are you not doing the work? Well, that's not my calling. I have been consulted throughout the Manosphere and other sectors on this issue, been invited to panels, emailed about different things about Umar Johnson, because I have effectively on multiple channels, such as my brother O'Shea Duke Jackson, such as Teapot, such as Reg the Bad Guy, and the list goes on about this particular topic, because I have made a living on YouTube out debating those who subjectively defame this guy's name. Now, lately, you all do know that my position on Umar Johnson has, in many instances throughout the last 2 or 3 years, has evolved and so on. But one thing that I will not do is critique this brother's character, critique this brother's education, his success, and the work that he's putting in. Now, I may not agree with his organization. I may not agree with his business acumen. I may not agree with some of the theatrics that he may showcase on social media. But hey, he's his own man. He does what he wants to do. Again, I've met Umar Johnson 3 times. He's came to Houston 3 times, actually. The 3 times that he came in Houston in 14, 17, and 2021. I actually met him face to face twice. So, with that being said, I'm going to start talking about my issues because I know these brothers in the Manosphere. I know 2 of the 3 at the top. One is not there anymore. You got another one who built a large portion of the sector. Now he's talking against it with various Manosphere throwaways, per se, filled with played out dating coaches. One that don't even date black women or married, that's not even married to a black woman. Then you have another one. He's too busy on the street in a damn tunnel looking for goddamn signals, choosing signals. And then you got the other ones who also selling the scam of dating coaching, taking advantage of lonely, unsocialized incels. That's what they're doing. And it's a money grab. Now, the other 2, you all know my little nephew, O'Shea Duke Jackson. Love him like a nephew. Me and him talk, we chat. We always gonna be good. And we always will be. But he's not part of the sector anymore. He went on to do bigger and better things. He got operations going on, tangible things. And then we go to Obsidian Mumia Ali, who I have always been highly entertained. Never really, what I can say is this: of all of the quote unquote non-experts that the Manosphere has produced over the 7-8 years, let's say 7 years of 2.0, there are a couple of things that he has done that has, in my opinion, impressed me. Number one, he actually mentioned an article of a psychologist who actually trained me at Southern University, Dr. Ivory Tosin. I was under his tutelage and his father's tutelage at Southern University between 1999 to 2002. I actually did an internship with Dr. Ivory Tosin Jr. from basically all of 2001 and maybe part of 2000 to 2001 for almost a year, I would say. 2 semesters, definitely. Great guy. His father wrote a book. Genius, in my opinion. One of the most skilled psychologists I've ever seen in my life. And I know many. Also, when we look at the continuous so-called education of the Manosphere as it relates to various research articles, I think that Obsidian does a better job and is basically underrated in the Manosphere in regards to his evaluation of research. Now, of course, it's filled with the blackmail female fuckery shit, and of course, it's filled with the theatrics and all the stuff that he does that actually makes Obsidian unique. But when you peel the layers of that and it talks about various research, I think he gives better research than most guys in the sector. For my position as a person who's done research, who has contributed to research as a master's level therapist and continuously does research in behavioral sciences, particularly in the field of counseling and psychology. Now, I'm not here to critique that because I think he does a better job than most. But for some reason, there has been an ongoing situation with the criticism of Umar Johnson and Umar Johnson criticizing the Manosphere. We can all say the Manosphere is greatly tilted towards the negative. And of course, Umar Johnson, although he has had criticism, and to me, some sophomoric criticism with the thottish personality disorder and stuff like that, that to me, he knows better to say as a clinician. to the overwhelming support of black women unconditionally. That's without a doubt. In the pro black community, there is praise to black women, and is rightfully so. However, on both ends, all black women are not queens, but also within the red pill ideology in itself, all black women are not defective, and red pill does not understand the true nature of black women because you're coming from a position of subjectivity. You're coming from a position of hate. You're coming from a position of failure. In the manosphere, in my opinion, Obsidian has failed. It has failed greatly. And I'm going to talk about the dynamics of how it has failed. And then I'm going to critique his video, which he took the original video off and he kind of cut it into various other videos. This video here is like 41 minutes. Obsidian actually, his original video was about maybe 3 or 4 hours per se. Brother can talk. So we're going to talk about this. And what we're going to do is I'm going to give my perspective. Also, I seen today Reg the bad guy talked about Umar Johnson, talked about how Umar Johnson critiqued it. And that has been various bouts with Umar Johnson. I know for a fact, O'Shea Duke Jackson talks about Umar Johnson all the time. Positive and negative, funny as hell. And that's not going to stop me as a person who supported Umar Johnson from supporting O'Shea Duke Jackson, just like Obsidian's critique, which had positives and negatives. But to me, it resonates only with the incels, those who support red pill ideology, but it hasn't changed their position in life. Some of these guys are no closer to being with a woman since 2015, and now we're in 2022. Some of these guys have religiously placed themselves in this space throughout the goddamn day, just on different channels, and they have not developed themselves. Now, Obsidian talked about guys such as himself and Dennis Sperlin and mediocre tutorials and review, and all of the guys who are, I would say, at the top echelon. But what he failed to talk about was the other 30,000 or more who are failures. Those who basically are begging for cash apps. Those who don't have a job. Those just like David Carroll. There's a lot of David Carrolls. You want to talk about if we had 10,000 Kevin Samuels, but shit, we got 50,000 David Carrolls, who was seen as one of the major ideologues and so-called intellectuals, but he couldn't pay his own bills and he didn't live in a home that he owned. So what did that intellect produce? And that has been my issue as I have jumped on various panels with guys who don't understand how to read research, per se. For guys who don't even know how to read and write. And for guys who've never stepped foot in any profession or produced anything of any consequence. But you put on a YouTube persona. See, for Obsidian, I get it. Obsidian has always been about the bag, and he always will be about the bag. That's why I don't take a lot of things that he say as serious, particularly those that is shocking, because that's his job. That's how he makes his money. He has sold a successful book. I have the book. He gave me a book. I've been on his show twice, I think. Respectful brother. We had good topics. And some of the stuff he says makes sense. And he has evolved. So I have much respect for Obsidian because I understand what he's doing. And I understand that this is a business, and he understands it's a business, and he takes it very serious. Can't take that away from him. But with all due respect, the Manosphere comprised of a lot of fuckery. I would say 90% fuckery, 10%, things that actually can be applicable to real life, productive, and can be effective tools for Black men, without a doubt. And that's just me as a person who's been in this space, particularly since 2015, the end of 2015, sporadically, but definitely around, let's just say, the onset of spring of 2016, I watched the Manosphere religiously. He was one of the persons that I watched all the time. I watched Angry Man as much as I could bear, but I watched O'Shea every day. I watched Minister. Matter of fact, Minister Jack was the first person I watched in the Manosphere. And there were others. Some have come and gone. So what I want to do today, guys, and I know for those in the Umar set, some of you I don't even know these people I'm talking about, but I'm broadcasting from both. You all know I'm in the Manosphere. I'm in the Manosphere space all the time. I've been in there. I've debated SYSBM. I slaughtered BGS Iltmore the other day on Amiri's channel about 3 to 4 weeks ago. I've done debates. I slaughtered Little Big Nate to the point where he wanted to call Channel 2 News to hurt my business. And others who cannot out-debate me intellectually, so they go to name-calling, yelling, screaming, and speaking to the choir because it's an echo chamber. I go into the lion's den knowing that no one likes me, and that's fine. I don't need you to like me. The truth is the truth. I stand on the truth, not likes. I'm a person of high self-esteem and high self-worth, and I don't need others to validate me. I validate myself. My career speaks for itself. My education speaks for itself. My knowledge, and lastly, my bank account definitely speaks for itself. So, and I show my work, which 99.9% of those in the Manosphere, they refuse to do that because many of them don't have worth. They don't. You got guys in here who claim they make $80,000 to $100,000 a year. They can't even afford a good StreamYard, a good mic. Just facts. So I'm going to start here at the beginning as he talks about Umar Johnson.
He says Kevin Samuels was a true nation builder. His birthday should be a holiday. Suit up. As a matter of fact, we're going to do just that. We're going to beatified the good brother and make it official. Come March 13th, 2023, we will declare it St. Kevin's Day. And on that day, the brothers will suit up.
Let me stop here. Look, man. We're trying to make this man a martyr, and he accomplished nothing. But see, nobody wants to talk about, since you want to honor the last 2 years of his life, let's talk about the first 2 years that he was in the Manosphere, when guys was not listening to Kevin. Matter of fact, guys was dogging out and disrespecting Kevin Samuel on your platform and others. And the only refuge that he had was at BGS Iltmore's platform. But now we want to have a holiday for him to immortalize him because he made a few $1 million his last couple years of his life. You know, it was cute for him to be recognized by BET. That was a nigga sympathy award, I would say. I get it. So what? But Kevin is of no significance to the Black community. Absolutely no significance. And Obsidian knows that. This is all cap. But let me continue.
Get suited and booted and be their level best. March 13th, 2023. Be on the lookout for it. We got some other stuff coming down the pipe in commemoration. See, when you're a brother that has stepped your game up, women will come to you and say, what do you think? I want the brothers out there to listen to this well. Dr. Umar says that the Manosphere need to step their game up. Kevin was impeccable in that regard.
Let me stop there. Umar did say the Manosphere needs to step its game up. And the fact of the matter is that the Manosphere needs to step. It's imperative for the Manosphere to step its game up in real life. I don't give a damn about what you're saying and doing online, because that has no effect on when you turn that camera off and shut that mic down. You see, they have Negroes who have begged, quote unquote, master teacher to get his lights turned on and to pay his cable bill. There are guys in here who are living off of Social Security benefits. There was guys in here that were homeless living with their family members. There's several guys that I know over in the past who were living quite raggedy in the Manosphere. And they were the main one talking the most shit about what black women should and should not do. But it baffles me. For those who are supposed to be thinking black men, they're unable to look at themselves in the mirror and ascertain what needs to be corrected. It baffles me when you got someone like Little Big Nate that looks like Porky Pig, 5'5", 250 pounds, and has the nerves to criticize black women and abortion rates. Nobody's fucking you, Little Big Nate. You got guys that look physically disabled. Their wallets are monetarily inept. You got guys that are willing to go to the Philippines and spend thousands of dollars to get a wife in the name of submission. You got guys who are willing to go to Brazil, Colombia, and you know how I feel about SYSBM. You got guys that are willing to spend exorbitant amounts of capital to get a woman that they can get down the street for 10 cents on the dollar. And that's just the facts. But you know why they can't? Because even those women don't want awkward, physically challenged, creepy looking men with poor social skills. And that was Umar Johnson was saying. And it fails to resonate that the black men in the Manosphere fail to understand that you're partially the problem. Not saying that black women are not without fault. You're partially the problem. That's why you spend all your money on loser dating coaches that don't know shit about dating and relationships. And half of those guys don't even like black women. Even Kevin himself, we find out he was fucking Hispanic woman all along. And we all know he was using her as a beard because we know what he really likes. But with that being said, that's just the facts. But Umar said, get your game up. See, nobody wants to take accountability, improve themselves. If you improve yourself, you improve the quality of woman that you can obtain. Women love productive men. Women love to see men that are actually doing some shit that no other man is doing. You're separating yourself through your success. And through your success, it can attract those women. And when you attract those women, you can vet who fits you. Not you turning on Instagram with lotion and all, fantasizing and tricking like my little nephew O'Shea. And then dating these women, paying for it, and mad that they don't want you. Mad that they putting you on child support. This is supposed to be the black love business, as Obsidian says. But Umar is correct. You need to up your game. And the bottom line is that the majority of guys in the Manosphere are stagnant. They've been in a position of stagnation for 7+ years since 2.0 has been in existence. And it has not gotten any better. And that's the facts.
And ladies, including Nicki Minaj, sought him out to say, what do you think? Okay?
Nicki Minaj, let me say this. Nicki Minaj embarrassed Kevin Samuel, made this Negro go against his own principles. This Negro gave Nicki Minaj, rated Nicki Minaj, fake as she can be, poster girl for thoughtism, told her she was a 9. We're talking about a woman who got fake lips, fake cheeks, fake ass, famous fake ass. Nothing on this woman is real. And that's proof because on the internet, there's tons of pictures that showed Nicki Minaj before Cash Money and after Cash Money. And I'm going to tell you, it's not even recognizable. Umar was correct. But see, just as I have experienced, guys in the manosphere don't want to hear the truth. What they want you to do is agree with them.
For radio. You guys are addressing things like ladies. See, ladies do that catty stuff. I ain't going to say no names. No, men name names. So you mentioned the black manosphere. You said that it ain't everybody in the black manosphere. So we need for you to be much more precise, doctor. And I know that you have the capacity and the ability to be precise, given all of your bona fides and credentials. I know you can name names, doctor. We need you to be more precise, brother. Man up and be more precise. Who exactly are you talking about here? Let's continue, shall we? Fair use. Fair use.
But I want to say this. No disrespect. A lot of you brothers in the manosphere are angry at black women.
Facts.
Because you can't get the ones you want. A lot of you brothers in the manosphere, no disrespect, and I know it's not everybody, but a lot.
It ain't everybody, but it's 99.9%.
A lot of you brothers in the manosphere, Washington, D.C., I need a location. A lot of you brothers in the manosphere are angry at black women because you can't get them.
The anger is displayed intensely every fucking day. And there's no breaks. It's just different channels every fucking day. We're talking red pill rage. You know how many times I had to debate Negroes about red pill rage being unhealthy for black men? And they argued me down as a therapist, putting yourself in a position where you could harm somebody else, potential domestic violence over rage. Rage is not a healthy state. But you got to get it out. That's what they told me, D-Darrell. You got to get it out. You got to let it out. There are ways to let out anger effectively, positively. But raging over women is not going to correct the fact that you have poor interaction with women.
That's not a political problem. That's a beta male self-development issue.
Let me stop right there because you said the magic word. This is a self-development issue. And the issue is that many of the guys in the manosphere are still living in high school. Guys are still remembering shit that happened 30 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, on dates that didn't want, on women that didn't want you. Why not focus on the women who want you? Why not focus on knowing what women are attracted to from a positive standpoint and positioning yourself in that arena? Why are you focusing on the Instagram model who's basically a thirst trap and who's basically going to put you on child support if you get her pregnant, and who's going to be ratchet and is going to make your life a living hell? But no, you don't want the woman who, you know, she's a 6, 5.5 to 6, kind of cute, put some makeup on, can give a couple of months, couple of points more. She could dress herself up. She is educated. She's smart. She can make decisions. She's not a thought. She doesn't sleep around. She has a belief in God. She believes in family. She's loyal. And she can even be submissive. But no, you don't want that. You want big titty Cornisha, who's sitting around on Instagram and Snapchat and social media, showing her breasts, titties, thighs, cute voice, and has nothing to offer you long term outside of sex. You Negroes have failed for this over and over. And I got the stories to prove it because you niggas have given testimony time and time again of your stories. So don't act like this is not the truth.
Positivity. Nobody says to them, you just mad because you couldn't get the black men that you want.
Now, see, this is one of the biggest mistakes is that every time we try to talk about black men exclusively and our faults, why do we have this tendency in the manosphere to keep going back and throwing the ball back at black women when we're not even talking about black women? I'm specifically, and the same thing for the women's sectors. They do the same thing. We're talking about black women, black women's empowerment. And just as Black Womansphere stated, when she entered it, it doesn't have to be about black woman empowerment. It should be about the issues of black women being empowered, not about going at it and being saying disparaging things about black men. I challenge the manosphere to do the same. They haven't done it in 7 years, and they won't do it because it doesn't make money. And we all know Obsidian is about the dollar. And I get it.
When black women talk about I'm strong and independent, don't need no man, you can't handle a strong black woman. Nobody says to them, you just mad because you couldn't get the black men that you want. No, we only say that to black men, and look at the people who say it. It's coming from black women, and it's coming from their soldiers in the Panda Bear Army, like Dr. Boyce Watkins, Dr. Umar Johnson, Derek Jackson, Tony Gaskins, Ace Metaphor. God damn it, I said it.
Yes, you did say it. It comes from all of them. Okay. But we're talking about black men and black men exclusively. So it's irrelevant what other men say. If the manosphere is teaching a certain perspective, why don't we just focus on that certain perspective, not on the ideals of those who are not in the space and who have no influence? This is all cap, Obsidian. All this shit is cap. And you made a lot of money doing it. So kudos to you.
Because here in the black manosphere, we sack the fuck up and speak the fuck up.
That's funny. They don't do shit. Them niggas don't do shit but cry and whine. I don't know where you get that from.
So let me,
by reinterpreting the Constitution.
He says, Kevin.
This shit is funny, man, but I get it. So let me get to this next part because I'm just skimming through this because I want to just make this shit known, man. This shit is hilarious.
We mad about it. That is a fucking insult. Now let me get back to this video because I got more to say about this. It was only a 6-minute video, but as you can see, I'm breaking it down nanosecond by nanosecond. God damn it! Let's continue. Fair use.
He breaking it down.
Let's just keep it a buck. Your issue is not black women. Your issue is your beta male energy needs to be worked on.
Well, you ain't doing it. Dr. Umar, you said you was going to be teaching boys to be men. You said that 7 years ago. 7 years later, here you are sitting in the car telling other men what they need to be doing, and you ain't doing it.
Listen, I can't listen. He's telling the truth on that. You can't speak on what other people need to be doing if you're not going to be the solution. I mean, Umar is not, to me, in any position to be criticizing other people because people can also criticize him. So I gotta go with respectfully with Obsidian on this part. You have too many issues of yourself to be trying to criticize, even though it's rightfully so. But they can easily criticize you just as much as you criticize them.
That's number one. Number two, to go back to the previous statement you made about brothers are not interested in political solutions to the black family. What the fuck do you think building yourself up into being to one of the top 10%, top 20%, top 10% of men? What the fuck do you think that is?
Obsidian. Nigga, stop capping. The top 10%, 20%, the Manosphere is not the top 10 or top 20. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the Manosphere ain't even the top 75 fucking percent. You got niggas at the top that is highly, it's highly weighted at the top. And some of these guys didn't start making money until YouTube. These Negroes had no career prior to YouTube. We're looking at guys like Dennis Sperling and the lead attorney. Those are the exceptions. Those are the exceptions. And then also, I can even say the progenitors of the Manosphere, you, Angry Man, and O'Shea, y'all wasn't making the money you were making before YouTube. Y'all make this money due to YouTube. Now, as far as you had a career, and unfortunately things happen in that position. O'Shea had a degree and was working on medical school, but he wasn't making this money that he making now. And Angry Man, it ain't even worth mentioning. We all know he was dusty and broke, and he still is. So that don't even he don't even count. But what I'm stating is that most of these guys were not top 10. If you were not top 10 and 20% before YouTube, there's a high probability that you're not going to be the same. Kevin Samuel was dusty and broke prior to YouTube. When he was doing YouTube, he put on a persona that was not representative of his real life. This Negro was spending all his YouTube money on cologne and shoes and boots that no man would wear, Kitty Hills. This Negro here was wearing suits that he barely could afford. This Negro missed meals to buy some fucking $1,000, $2,000 suits. This nigga was missing meals to do that shit. This nigga was going window shopping in places that he could not afford, talking to white women in the goddamn mall. This is what Kevin Samuels was doing. Kevin Samuels got kicked out of places. The nigga was in there just looking at shit and researching shit, and he couldn't afford to buy it. The man was in his mid fucking 50s. And for all the things that he did in life, it had no significance to the last 2 fucking years of his life. That to me is not success. That's not success. And the fact of the matter is that when you look at the funeral and everything, Kevin Samuels seemed to not be a person that a lot of people gave a damn about. I'm just going to say that because a funeral will illustrate what people thought about you based on who's there and who's showing their respect. Now, I don't know Kevin Samuel. Many of you knew him. I never talked to Kevin Samuel offline, but I've talked to some of you niggas in the Manosphere offline before. More than a few. And I'm saying the brother was not a well-liked person. He was not respected. If Kevin Samuel if his channel was not popping, Obsidian, you would not be talking about Kevin Samuel. That's the reality. O'Shea wouldn't be talking about him. Y'all were cool with him because O'Shea had him on his platform. He actually brought Kevin Samuel into the man. Well, he was one of the first to interview him. I would say that. And there's a big difference from when O'Shea first interviewed him to now. It's a big difference in presentation. But these Negroes are dusty. They're uneducated. They're unskilled. They lying about being in the tech industry. These Negroes are lying their ass off. A lot of these Negroes lying about how much money they make. And they still ain't getting no pussy. 7 years. You got niggas that went 3, 4, 5 years. Ain't touch a woman. Ain't sniffed shit since 1999. And we in 2022. And they think they're going to find the answers from the Manosphere. No, you're not. what you're going to find yourself is isolated, and people are going to look at you as if you're strange and mentally ill and out of place with positions that have no basis in today's life. You niggas think you're going to find a woman that's bred to just take care of you and submit to you, and you have nothing to show for it? You think that women are going to do that just on the basis of you being a man? You're highly mistaken, my brother. Now, you don't preach that for as much. You're more about the behaviors and what needs to be done at the table to negotiate and compromise, per se. And I agree that needs to be done. But there's so many dynamics relative to a relationship. There's so many unique circumstances. There's so many different obstacles that have to be touched upon to get to that point. And submission is not something you ask for. Submission is given unconditionally, subconsciously, by a person that a female thinks, even when she don't even realize it. And there's tons of women who don't like the word submission, but in real life, to their partner, they submit. And that's what you incel Negroes don't understand. You know, pussy getting ass Negroes. You know, I didn't have a date. No 50-50. Niggas that don't want to pay $50 on up to $100 for a fucking date. Are you kidding me? But want some pussy at the end of the night? Are you serious? Cheap ass Negroes that don't want to give, but they want to receive on the basis of being a man. No.
If that ain't a political solution, then you tell me what it is. We got men in the black manosphere doing the goddamn work from Kevin Samuels on down.
That's a goddamn lie. Stop the cap, nigga. Stop the cap. They are not doing the work. These Negroes trying to get paid. Let me just say, Dennis Sperling has proven to be the snake that I always knew he was. That's why he's a successful lawyer. Lead attorney is a snake. He also has suspect gender etiquette, I may say, if you know what I mean. This Negro here also is about the dough. He's probably retired from law after 25 years, made his money, and now he's looking at my second profession of doing this bullshit. And most of the money that he's making is off the courses that he teaches, not on YouTube in itself. And he's successful. O'Shea Du Jackson is a doctor. He don't really need this shit. He's doing it because he didn't think, I don't think he realized he was going to make this kind of money when he first entered. And I'm not even pocket watching. You're a skilled worker yourself. Talked about the everyday brother who, in my opinion, I actually commended you for doing that, because one of the reasons why black women don't have a lot of men, because they overlook a lot of blue collar everyday brothers who may not look the glam and glitter and the measurables, but are damn good men that would make damn good husbands and damn good fathers. I see them all the time. And I hate when black women say there's no good black men. No, there's a failure for you to identify good black men. That's the problem. There are a lot of good black men. I'm not saying there should be more, but the complaint should not be this intense, this severe, as if there's no problems with black women, because black women carry a bunch of fucking problems too. And that's why many of them don't have a black man or can't keep a black man. It goes both ways. And that's the position that I've always taken in this space, and it has never been well received, because the black manosphere don't like objectivity. They want an echo chamber. They want people cheerleading for them. They want people to to sympathize with their story. I'm not sympathizing with a goddamn thing. Now I may empathize with you for the fact that you got fucked over for the 5th time by the same type of woman. I may empathize the fact that you got 2 children by a woman that already had 3 children prior to you, and now you're on child support. I may sympathize for those who got fucked over in a divorce. I have sympathy for those who basically with a woman for 6 months and she broke up with you and you still ain't getting none. I have sympathy for you to a certain extent. But nigga, you 40 years old still talking about this. You have to look at yourself in the mirror. Where's the black male accountability, Obsidian? I would challenge you to talk more about that. Even though you have talked about guys and so forth not doing certain things, but the manosphere is not a space of highly successful men. It's not. It's just not.
Meanwhile, you ain't doing a goddamn thing to help black men, black boys, or nothing other than yourself. That's the truth. Let's keep that a buck, doctor. Let's keep that a buck. In 2 years, a professional image consultant, not a matchmaker, not a dating coach, not a love ambassador, not all this nonsense bullcrap, not a so-called educator, not a pro-black. He done did more to bring black men and black women together than all you niggas combined.
Let's stop there. Wait 1 goddamn minute. Okay, Obsidian. I know you're getting, outside of yourself right now, and you're getting emotional here, and it's intense. And I know this is triggering for you because you did have a relationship with Kevin. He helped you sell over. He helped you gain a lot of capital selling your book. That put you out of commission for a few months, enjoying the fruits of that. But I'm gonna say this: Kevin didn't do a damn thing to help black men. Kevin didn't do a damn thing to help black boys. Kevin didn't do a goddamn thing to help black women. Kevin helped his damn self. He helped you. He helped Jessica X and others. And he didn't even mention the Manosphere. He didn't even mention the name. He went on No Jumper and said he was dealing with incels for a few years. That's what Kevin Samuels said, Obsidian. He helped you. Shit. Look at all those book sales you got. That account is looking pretty. He solidified your retirement. If you're not already getting a pension. That's what Kevin Samuels did for you, I've seen. Shit. This is hilarious, man. These guys, man. I see things for what they are, not for what I want them to be. Now, we were on Amiri's channel just not too long ago, Obsidian. I don't think you even realized it was me. You did because I don't think you really know how I look, but you saw me with these glasses on. But Obsidian, look, I get it. If I was in your position, I would be supporting Kevin Samuels too. If he helped me sell 1 million books, I would be basically the number one Kevin. This is about economics, Obsidian. YouTube is about economics. It's not about helping people. These Negroes on here are not about helping people, because if they were, the rhetoric would be totally different. Kevin Samuels was about helping himself, because most of his life he was unable to help himself. That's why he couldn't stay married. He couldn't help his daughter through college. And he lied and he deceived the Manosphere. But the Negroes in the Manosphere actually saw through his fakeness. It wasn't until he started making money that people changed their mind. Nobody was fucking with Kevin Obsidian. He did shit for black people. And that was not his intention. His intention was to improve his bottom line. And I can't hate Kevin for that, because everybody's intentions are to help. But let's not perpetrate as if Kevin Samuels was doing the work of God and revolutionizing Black love and Black relationships to a point where we could change the pendulum in which the outer wedlock birth rate would change to the positive. 50%, 60, 70% of Black people getting married. Crime is that. Kevin Samuel did none of that. Kevin Samuel basically, I think, on document, may have had 5 or 6 people that got married. I'm not impressed with that, particularly myself in a profession in which I've helped at least 200 to 300 marriages. And of those 200 or 300 marriages, I had at least an 85% effective rate of people staying married. And I would say at least 60% of those marriages were Black, particularly in the last 2 to 3 years, where I would say 90% of the Black couples that I counseled were Black. He knows nothing about relationships. What he knows is what Kevin knew and developed was an effective way to capture the imagination of women by showing a gold nugget of, oh, this is the high value man, but you're not worthy. So this is what you need to do. Allow me to offend you. Allow me to traumatize you and so on online in front of people, verbally abuse you, and make you understand it's always been your fault. And it's not Black men's fault. And we tired of this. And you women, and you modern this and you modern that. And at the same time, you fucking some Hispanic pussy. So you're gonna tell Black women what they should be doing, and you didn't want to fuck with one. At least that wasn't your choice. And you had a history of dating women outside your race. I don't even know what he married. But this is the facts about Kevin. Forget the rah-rah bullshit. Kevin Samuel ain't done a damn thing for the Black community. And he never was, because that's not his intention.
That's a fact. Let's keep it a buck. Kevin Samuels has done more to bring Black men and Black women together than Dr. Umar Johnson, Dr. Boyce Watkins, Ace Metaphor, Derek Jackson, Tony Gaskins, and all these other Black love individuals.
How did he bring anybody together with only 6 marriages? I think 5 to 6 marriages documented in his database or whatever, his Discord that he's helped. Now, I gotta admit, I do appreciate Kevin reinforcing therapy, reinforcing people going to a therapist, getting worked on. A lot of those people could have used a therapist short term. I agree with that. That was actually one of the reasons why I started watching, because he actually promoted therapy. He actually needed something for himself, but he wouldn't talk about that. But he did promote that. But Umar Johnson is grassroots. Kevin Samuel is not. He's sitting in a room that was decorated strictly to do YouTube and to personify a high value lifestyle, which he knew nothing about most of his life. He put a facade that he was actually wealthier than what he was. But what about them fucking taxes he had to pay? You know, when you make $2 or $3 million a year, nigga, you're paying $750 or more in taxes. If you made $1 million, you're gonna pay $350,000 or more in taxes. If you made $2 million, you're probably gonna pay around 6 to 7. So let's keep it a buck. Only 2 years. Now, I don't agree with the Black women that disparaged his name and celebrated his death. That's evil. No one should celebrate anybody's, not for no YouTube shit. You ain't even met this man. Now, that was disgusting. But a lot of things he said was disgusting to women. I'm not going to go into that today, but he did. But let me continue.
The Brothers of the Black Manosphere meetup has done more to help Black men than all of these men combined.
That black fucking. Oh, let me stop. Let me calm down. That dingy ass Manosphere meetup in Atlanta was a fucking failure, Obsidian. Theo WAP, whatever the fuck his name, WAP, whatever the fuck, that simp ass octagon looking Negro, because he looked ambiguous. This dirty, foot loving ass Negro that loved women from everywhere except America. This Negro spent $30,000 on what? What was accomplished? Nothing. What effect did it have on the sector? Nothing. They still talking about the same thing. You don't have brothers improving their bottom line. Negroes are not getting better relationships with women. Negroes are not better tempered as far as their everyday temperament is not better. They're not educating themselves. These Negroes are still in here complaining about women every fucking day. It was a failure. It did not change anything. It did not improve anybody's life. What it did was it made for good theater on YouTube so that people can talk about it. That's it. It was a waste of time. But let me forget. I know you and Jab got paid. Yeah, nigga. You and Jab got paid. That's who it benefited. Matter of fact, that 30 grand, how much did you and Jab probably got 5-10K out of that 30? But you know Theo wouldn't talk about it. This the same Negro. Let's talk about it. Matter of fact, hell with that. Let me just speak my fucking mind. So you want to talk about Theo WAP, whatever the fuck, WAP, who sat on there, men of value don't discuss how much money they make. This nigga talked about, I made $300,000 on Reg the Bad Guy. Nigga, why are you talking about how much money you make? Men like me, of my success, we don't talk about how much money we make. Not an exact number. Men like me don't talk about how much money we make. Men like me talk about profit, not wages. Men like me talk about business. We talk about growing things, networking with others, something that he knows nothing about. Men like me don't cry about women, which are at your disposal. If you're truly that successful, they should be flocking to you. This Negro got on there and had a therapy session. Maybe I shouldn't even be saying this as a therapist, about how his Japanese wife didn't love him and he didn't figure it out till after she died. First of all, Negro, you are grieving. That's what that sounds like. And you need a therapist to get over the grief of your wife dying and the fact that you won't admit it, but you probably still love her, and you're mad that you were unable to reconcile issues that you all had while she was alive. So you can go fuck as many foreign women as you want. It's not going to relieve you of the pain of what you experienced with your wife or lack thereof. Look at Tia Son Johnson. That's another quote unquote high value, where he actually has the credentials and so forth. This Negro was in a sexless marriage. This shit is hilarious. Notice these guys are constantly talking about dysfunctional relationships with women for men who claim they understand the nature of females. Why are you all having such a historical difficulties with women? It makes no sense. Highly paradoxical in nature. And it's laughable. But let me continue.
I defy them to show me the proof otherwise. I defy them.
I just said the proof.
Bring it. The hell's wrong with it? See, only in Black America are people who are mediocre or people who ain't done shit going to try to lecture people who have done shit. Only in Black America, ladies and gentlemen. Only in Black
Now, let me talk about what Umar has done. First of all, sir, for the black Manosphere that don't know, I mean, um, Umar did, in fact, spend a lot of his years working in the school system as a certified school psychologist, as a principal, helping black children. Umar has been a main figure in the Black Parent Association. Every Wednesday, he helped thousands of black mothers and black boys and children with special education evaluations and how to navigate throughout the educational system. He has educated through the online classes that he's done. The only thing that he's had issues with is opening up the school because there's a lack of capital. The Manosphere is not supporting Umar Johnson financially. You're part of the problem. Why isn't the Manosphere trying to help black boys? What the Manosphere wants to do is help they dick get wet. They don't give a shit about black boys. That's what they want. Umar never talked about having problems with women. You Negroes did. So now we're going to talk about who did what for who and what. When and in all actuality, the Manosphere hasn't done shit for the black community. And it wasn't designed. It was designed to get pussy. And to understand why I can't get pussy. And you're talking to other Negroes that can't get no pussy. And everybody's talking about how I can't get no pussy. And I can't find the woman I want. There was a bunch of guys that thought, am I the only one with this problem? Oh my God, I'm in a space where everybody has this problem. Although everybody that has this problem is a small, minute from a percentage standpoint to the collective of black men who don't have this problem. There will never be 10,000 Kevin Samuels. Thank God. It's not. Why would I want 10,000 guys who are suspect from a sexuality standpoint, who are beta as can be, who don't like black women, that actually prefer other women, and who've only been successful 2 years of their 50-plus year life? That's not a great record. That's horrible. Matter of fact, you would have done a better job bringing up other people. You should have brought up the lead attorney and Dennis Sperling. You should have. Matter of fact, you could have even said Bernard Raleigh to a certain point, but and he got a simple ass story with his life. This Negro here fell in love with the first piece of pussy he got at 19, and crying and shit because he got divorced because she didn't want his ass no more. I mean, what the fuck? Who the fuck falls in love with the first piece of pussy you get at 19, 18 years old and get married out of high school? That shit was not built to last. The fuck? This is the fucking reality. Matter of fact, some of the most successful guys in the Manosphere are not the most popular ones, actually. Actually, there's guys that are not the most popular as far as content creation. I don't know what Manosphere space he talking about, but okay.
Get back to this videotape here. Fair use.
You need some self-development.
Yes,
you
they
need
do.
Some relationship coaching.
Well, you ain't doing it, doctor. What little bit of relationship coaching you do goes to the sisters, and we saw how that worked out.
Now, I got to give Obsidian kudos on that. That's true. Umar Johnson, and who is clinically trained, who has PhD in psychology. You're not doing enough in that area, brother. You're not. He has a point on that. He has a point. He's telling the truth. You have not done enough in regards to healing black relationships. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I'm the only one in this sector that probably has the most experience in doing so and has the track record. But nobody listens to a therapist, just like the show I wrote. Nobody wants to listen to the reality. But I get that because in a therapeutic situation, particularly at the initial phases, most of them don't want to listen to the therapist until they realize what they're doing doesn't work, and then they listen to it. So I'm used to this. See, resistance in a therapeutic relationship is quite constant. And that's fine because I understand it, but I know I'm correct because I have the practical experience to prove it. You know, I show what I do. I show my receipts. You know, I just passed the national credentialing yesterday that I talked about. I'm growing. Getting ready to open up a fucking dollar store. Getting ready to do some other shit. I got tons of things that I have to do. And it's only going to grow. But, you know, you're right, Obsidian, on this particular situation. This is like the second or third time you said some things I agree with. He's not doing enough. And he should do more.
It's fascinating to me how all the let me turn this off. It's fascinating to me how these brothers that I just named, they want to lecture black men on behalf of black women, but ain't near one of them come to the Black Manosphere and sit down with them, and they all do it now that Kevin's dead.
I'm sitting here full of shit, but it's funny as fuck. This shit is some funny shit. I'm sitting ain't nobody going in that rinky-dink ass shit that y'all showed last year. I thought it was supposed to be in Houston. Them niggas wouldn't even let me in. I ain't get an invite because I would have fucking showed up with the cameras and every fucking thing else. And I want to come, but I couldn't get an invite. Oh, because I'm D. Doral, you know, therapist that nobody want to fuck with because I don't want to be red pill. So fuck it. Y'all didn't invite nobody. You had little Big Nate, bitch ass, controlling shit. You had Theo Wap, who was doing his dumb ass shit. Niggas was spent money on bullshit. Motherfucker sitting there, standing there with a fucking mic and a stand and a fucking the mic sitting up there with no fucking nothing in front of you, no presentation, no fucking visuals. The fuck out of here, man! This shit is ridiculous. And you saw some of the most, man, just over the hill looking ass niggas I saw in that goddamn in the crowd. I'm looking like, look at these lazy fucking incel looking ass niggas. Now they had some dudes that were straight. Some of these niggas look like they ain't been out the house in years. Unkept looking ass Negroes. Let me continue.
You understand me? When Kevin was rolling strong, they ain't have not a word to say. You couldn't get a peep out of none of them. You could hear a rat pissing on cotton. But now that he's dead and in the ground, now all of a sudden they come out the woodwork. They got so much to say to the Black Manosphere now. Well, I tell you what you want to do. You want to come and see me.
Come and see you. I see that you not an intimidating figure. Get the fuck out. This nigga's so funny, man. That's why I like listening to him. But anyway, let me say something. Obsidian, people were talking about Kevin Samuel a great deal while he was alive. Matter of fact, motherfuckers like Kendra G and all these other women, they trying to commandeer his platform as far as the format. And they're actually doing better than the men. They commandeered this nigga Kevin Samuel's platform per se, and now they're going to make money by doing the same format. That's what's happening. But let me continue, man. Let me move forward because this shit is like fucking hilarious.
Pulled up on him. I pulled up on Stefan Labasia.
Pull up,
I
huh?
know my subject. That's the reason why I play that quote from the great John Henrik Clarke. I ain't here to debate with anyone. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.
Oh my God, he gonna compare himself to John Henry Clark. Oh Lord, man, Obsidian's funny.
There are few brothers that do as much research as me. There are few.
I do admit you do a lot of research. I give you credit with that. Like I said, I'm being objective. I'm calling bullshit when bullshit, but you do your research. You actually do pretty good research. You do better research than most in this, than probably most people in this. I'm gonna say you're probably the best person as far as research that I've heard. Because BGS full of bullshit, which I've proven. But yeah, you do pretty good research.
Brothers that are dedicated to learning their craft as me. Kevin Samuels definitely is one of them, and I consider myself a student of his.
A student of Kevin? See, Obsidian, this is where you lose me, Obsidian. Obsidian, you have more of a profound influence than Kevin Samuels. You hit the road. You from the get-go, Obsidian, people gravitated to you in this space. You were well received from the start. Quit it with this shit. Y'all niggas treating Kevin Samuels like a god when you're actually you are a better content creator than Kevin Samuels. You really are. The reason why you are not more popular than Kevin Samuels because you don't cam up. And another thing, the other reason is because your delivery is tougher than his. And you came in and you spoke recklessly about black women that a lot of women will never forget that know you in this space. But in all actuality, you are far better content creator than Kevin. Just because Kevin is a more successful monetarily don't mean he's better than you, because he's not. Matter of fact, Kevin Samuel, to me, is not a better content creator than Angry Man nor O'Shea. Even mediocre tutorials and review. Kevin Samuel's delivery and so forth is basically a facade. It's not even real. You all are far more authentic than Kevin Samuel. It's just so happened, if it wasn't for Instagram and World Star, that's what made Kevin Samuel, not YouTube. So I have to disagree with that, respectfully.
And the results speak for themselves. And we're just getting started. So for Dr. Umar Johnson and any of these other brothers here, when it comes to the question of what black men need to do, particularly in the black manosphere to step their game up, ain't none of y'all in a position to lecture any of us here.
Shit, that's a lie. I'm in a position to lecture you niggas on being failures. I'm in a position because I can show my shit and prove what the fuck you have to do to be successful. And being on fucking YouTube 24 hours a day, whatever, it ain't it. Particularly you niggas that ain't making more than $15 an hour. Particularly you niggas who don't want to spend $50 or more on a date. Particularly you Negroes that can't read and write. Particularly you Negroes that don't bathe and wash your ass and don't look presentable and don't know how to talk to women. Yes, you Negroes. 90% of you Negroes. Yes, most of the guys are failures and they're cowards. Yes, those Negroes, Obsidian. You looking at the ones that, you are looking at it from a perspective because you don't fuck with any of those guys. You getting money from them. You don't fuck with them. You fuck with the top tier. You don't fuck with the bottom barrel. You don't. So stop.
We will take no such instruction from you. Did he just say that shit? Let's do that. The babies from ain't shit niggas, jacked up in the head, emotionally screwed up, in debt because they trying to save and trying to work with and trying to help ain't shit niggas. Yes.
I agree that there's a large percentage of black women that love helping broken Negroes that don't mean them no good. I agree that there's too much of that going on.
difficulty getting those women before they get jacked up, screwed up, shot out, smutted out. That's a major problem for Black America today. Yes, it is.
And I agree with that.
What's wrong with these people? Let's get back to this tape. Fair use, fair use.
Stop making your personal internal conflicts a political crisis for the whole community.
Did he just say that shit? Let's do that again.
Stop making
Yes, he said that.
your personal relationship problems a political crisis for the whole community.
Oh, whoa. Hold on a second there, Doc. Hold up. Wait a minute. When Feminista Jones talking about you okay, sis, was that a personal problem? When Brittany Renner talk about the diet don't work for Black women the same it work for white women, was that a personal problem? When Black feminists talk about the shit that they talk about, is that a personal problem or not?
See, this is the problem that I have. I'm speaking therapeutically from this as a therapist. Why is it a tendency for the manosphere to not talk about the average, everyday, more systematic issues instead of using extreme anecdotal examples? Why the fuck are we using someone like Feminista Jones, her crazy ass? Why are we talking about Brittany Grenner and all these other different people, whatever, all of these celebrities that care less about what the manosphere? Why are we not talking about the typical woman who probably is making between 30 to 50,000, maybe a little more, may have a degree, who's working, who may have a kid or two? Why are we not talking about the everyday average woman or above average woman, which is more compatible to the men in this sector? Why are we talking about women that are highly visible or successful? You're talking about Lori Harvey, who the fuck at 25 want to marry a motherfucker that's 40 plus years old? They don't, especially if she already come for money. Yeah, they got a lot of thirsty 25 years that they would have took that bid. But she's in a position where she comes from money. She's not impressed with that. She's not trying to get married at 25. Did it ever dawn on you maybe she's not mature enough or developed enough as a woman to get married even at the age of 25? Maybe there's some growing that she needs to do. She's not ready for womanhood. She's not ready for true womanhood or motherhood per se. She probably is not, in my position speaking, she's not mature enough to be with a 40-year. And she can, just because you can fuck a 40-plus-year-old guy don't mean you're mature enough to marry them. But with that done upon those who think that they know Black female nature. No, you're supposed to take it. She should have got married. So why she gonna wait till she hit the wall? And when she hits the wall, then she's gonna wish she was dating him. No, she's not. She's gonna think about the men that's presently dealing with her.
Is it not true that the feminist motto, Dr. Umar Johnson, is that the personal is political?
Umar Johnson is not a feminist. He's far from it. He's Pan-African. He's a revolutionary Pan-African. So I don't know what you're talking about. Most Black women are not feminists. The average Black woman could not intelligently debate feminism. You know what they're going to talk about? Abortion rights, equal pay, things of that, and sexual harassment and stuff like that. That's it. And we all know feminism had many waves. And they're not, many are unable to discuss that in a complete manner.
Is that not true, doctor? Everything that's personal to Black women and Black feminists especially is a political crisis. But now you're going to come to the brothers and say that good Black men having a hard time finding suitable Black women as mates ain't a political crisis? What the French toast is wrong with you?
Yeah. He going off on a tangent, man. This shit is funny, man. He earning his money. I give him that. Shout out to Obsidian. I'm gonna say this, man. There is not an overabundance of black men that got this shit together. So, again, we're in a tiny spot, a tiny space with even the men that claim that they're doing it are not doing it. And there's not an overabundance of men who claim that I can't find the women that I want, and the women saying I can't find the men that I want. And again, look yourself in the mirror. You're the problem. You're the reason you can't find what you want.
If you ain't got black couples, you ain't got black love, you ain't got black families, you ain't got black shit.
Facts. I agree. True.
Fair use.
Let me continue.
A lot of you in the manosphere are thirsty for female energy.
He said thirsty. These niggas are thirsty. Look at Jessica X. That was thirst. Look at Mr. Fantastic. That was thirst. Look at Melanie Speaks. Thirst. Thirsty ass niggas. Let's not see. This is something that people want to forget. Don't you know, guys, when Cynthia G was doing her pro-black shit back in 15, 16, 17, there was a lot of niggas in the manosphere supporting her. They were thirsty behind Cynthia G. They was donating like motherfucking crazy. And for those that been around during that time, they can second that shit. Who talking about that?
You want the royal cookie and you cannot get it. And because you want the royal cookie and cannot get it, you want to beat up on my sisters. Step your damn game up.
Step your goddamn game up.
Your damn game up. Okay? Okay? That's all I'm going to say.
Good. Because here's what I have to say in response. Starting May 5th, 2022, be careful what you wish for, doctor. And any black woman or black man that agrees with him, starting May 5th, 2022, be careful what you wish for.
Is that the Manosphere meetup? Is that May? You said May 5th, 2020? Wait a minute, did you say May 5th? Wait, let me go back a little bit. I think that's what he said.
Because here's what I have to say in response. Starting May 5th, 2022, be careful what you wish for, doctor. And any black woman or black man that agrees with him, starting May 5th, 2022, be careful what you wish for. Because you just might get it. Be careful what you wish for.
Okay.
What happens when you get 1,000 Kevin Samuels?
Shit.
10,000.
Shit.
100,000.
Shit.
1,000,000.
Shit.
What happens then?
Shit.
What will be the excuse this time?
Shit.
Don't think that we can't do it.
No, you can't. You can't do it. You can't do it. Stop. Capping again. This is gonna be the last thing.
Out, brothers want to accuse me of being a hypocrite. Brothers want to accuse me of flip-flopping. Really?
I'm sitting respectfully. You have made tons of flip-flops throughout the years. That's been heavily documented. So let's not act like you haven't flip-flopped.
Nigga, please. Let's continue, shall we? Fair use. Fair use.
You took the snow bunny cookie because it was the easy way out and you hate yourself. No snow bunny crisis over here. I have never been snow bunny, my brother. Let
me stop there. That ain't even worth talking about that. I'm not here to talk about some goddamn, situation that happened in a goddamn mall and people, that's just what YouTubers do for story. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, my reaction to it, my analysis of it, good and bad or indifferent. So appreciate you for being here today. Tell me what you think. Please leave comments in the comment section. Want to give a shout out to Obsidian. I agree and disagree on some of the things. Y'all have a great day.